My married next door neighbor is cheating on her husband with at least 2 different guys during the day while he's at work. What would you do? Me and my boyfriend moved into our place almost 3 years ago, and sometime last year a new couple in their mid-30s moved in directly next door. We share a wall. We both have 2 upstairs bedrooms, and it quickly became apparent that they chose the room that shares a wall with our bedroom, as we would often hear them having sex at night. No porn star level moaning or anything like that, but you can easily make out the movement in the bed and slapping on flesh, so enough to be a distraction. We both found it funny at first, but often they'd be at it in the very early hours of the morning, especially on the weekends, and often multiple times back to back without breaks between. It really started to interrupt our sleeping, so we decided to just move rooms, and now our old bedroom is my work from home office. While they were both working from home, I was in my new office room. I'd still hear them at it during the day, every now and then, but I just put on my headphones and try to ignore it. No big deal, and good on them for having such an active sex life. Once the husband went back to office working, I was no longer having to reach for my headphones nearly as often, so thought that would be the end of it. A few weeks after him going back to work, however, the midday sex noises started up again, even more enthusiastic and frequent than before, which was odd as her husband's car was not parked outside. I also noticed a pattern of hearing their doorbell go shortly before the sex started. After going full nosy neighbor mode and peeking through our blinds almost every day, I noticed that a guy was parking his van just up the road, popping in next door for an hour of fun, then heading back out. Not only that, but I've even spotted a different guy turning up every now and then. I've been cheated on before, albeit in a much more casual relationship when I was younger, and think it's one of the most disrespectful and hurtful things someone can do to another person. It makes me sad for her husband, and hearing her go at it with these guys on almost a daily basis is getting me increasingly annoyed and angry. My boyfriend says I just need to ignore it, and it's not worth getting caught up in these things. I kind of agree, but almost feel like making some kind of anonymous tip-off to let her husband know somehow. What do you guys think? P.S. She was already halfway through her second round with one of these guys this afternoon when I started typing this.
Damn. Oh, that's terrible how the house is just so thin and you can hear your neighbor. That's terrible.
Yeah. What would you do?
I would go across the street at the time that the person arrives, and I would take pictures. I would print the pictures, and I would put them in the mailbox.
Damn.
Yeah. I wouldn't...
Frame the across the street neighbor.
Yeah, like I'm not taking them from my window. I don't want the angle of them being picked.
You're gonna frame somebody.
Like from sidewalk view. Mm-hmm. Like I don't want... I'm willing to tell, but I'm not willing to... I'm doing it anonymously. Yeah.
At the beginning of this episode, I said, mind your own business. And now I'm like,
Would you mind your own business?
I probably would.
I don't like cheating.
I don't like it either. I'm also not a confrontational person. I don't like conflict.
Because all the other times, you're like, oh, they need to know. Yeah. And I'm like, I would prefer to keep myself safe and not say anything. But if I could do it anonymously,
yeah,
I'll do it.
Yeah. There's an update. Thanks for the wide range of replies, everyone. For those saying, mind my own business, I get that to an extent, but it kind of becomes my business when it's distracting me from my work on a daily basis. There's been a few times I've had calls while it's been going on, and I just have to pray that the noise canceling from my mic is doing its job and be extra quick on the mute button when I'm not talking. A lot are saying to separate the two issues, which seem like good advice. After all, it's the noise that's impacting me personally. Even if it was her and her husband, that would still be a major annoyance for me. In fact, even though we've moved rooms, we can still hear them most nights and often early morning too. I honestly don't know how she can manage so much sex. Admittedly, the cheating aspect, assuming it's not some kind of open relationship thing that they have going on, which seems unlikely, but yes, I suppose it is possible, is adding to my emotional response for sure, but ultimately that's between them, not me. As much as I empathize with the husband, again, assuming he's unaware, I do agree with a lot of the comments here saying it's not my place to out her, and not worth being in any way involved with the potential fallout. My boyfriend also shares this view. Reporting to council/police just doesn't seem like an option. I mean, it is, but it would be so obvious it was us who complained, and neither of us would want to go down that path. I think I will try to pluck up the courage and maybe try to bring it up casually the next time I see her on her own and hope for the best. On the bright side, their neighbor on the other side is an older guy who is practically deaf, so if they at least swapped rooms like we did, there's less of a chance the other neighbor hearing them at all.
Damn. I don't know.
That is a good...
Maybe they are in an open relationship. Maybe the husband's fine. So then if you do it anonymously, you get it off your chest and nothing changes with them.
I think her approach of like asking the wife about it first is good. I don't know.
But now
like
the wife knows that somebody knows and she needs to silence them.
I feel like, once you go that route, then you can no longer do it anonymously.
Yeah, right? Like
fingers will be pointed at you.
No, I'm not down for that.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, one final update. Well, turns out there was a twist after all. After all my moaning, my boyfriend got talking to the guy out the back over the weekend and, as sensitively and politely as possible, brought up the subject of the noise. And well, long story short, they are adult content creators. Obviously, he never mentioned anything about the guy showing up, but we think it's probably safe to assume he's well aware. The husband was also very apologetic and admitted they were both worried about noise, but figured it must not be that bad since we never mentioned anything all this time, and that they tend not to hear much from us. It turns out the wife is now doing this as her main job and quit her previous job months ago, and they already planned on turning their spare room into her studio, which, if that happens, should mean much less noise for us. Kudos to all of you that called me out for being so presumptuous that she was cheating. Lesson learned not to jump to conclusions.
Well, I mean, that's not 100% confirmed, but most likely, yeah.
I think it's pretty clear.
I think so.
I think if he knows, well, he obviously knows that she is an adult, like a sex worker. I think this is probably can see her videos online too and see who she's sleeping with. He would know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Top comment, quote, no porn star level moaning. That's what you think.
Right? But it's drowning down. There's more sound deadening than you think there is, and it's just at max level, and you're hearing it at mid level. Like, it's getting filtered through the wall a bit. It's getting toned down.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Isn't that ironic? She originally
twist.
posted that and said, not porn star level moaning. And
Yeah. That's ironic.
Oh, that's so funny.
Damn.